So, hi, I'm Erin, and welcome to today's Simply Science. Today we're going to be learning about states of matter, which the most basic states of matter are solid, liquid, and gas. I bet if you look around your house, you can find something that's each state. But water actually is really cool because it can be in all three states. So, first state of matter we're going to discuss is solids. So, solid would be an ice cube. The solid, you can squeeze it, and it's not going to change its shape. It's not going to change its size. It is what it is. So liquid water, however, is different. If I pour it into a different container, it's going to take the shape of its container. If I suck some up into my pipette, it'll even take the shape of that, which is really cool. So gas is a little harder to see. It's going to take the shape of its container and fill any available space. So right now this is actually filled with gas. If I squeeze it, it's still got the same amount of gas in there. So you're probably really familiar with the gas state of water as steam from a boiling pot. So if you've ever made pasta, you've definitely seen steam. Get the lid back on there. And so everything in the world is made up of molecules. Molecules are teeny tiny. You can't see them. You would have to have a microscope, and actually even a special fancy microscope on top of that. But molecules in solids, liquids, and gases behave really differently. For solids, the molecules are kind of stuck in place. They can't really move, which is why solids don't change shape. They don't change size. In a liquid, the molecules, they're free to move around a little bit. So when I was pouring the water from container to container, they take the shape of the container, but they won't fill it up all the way. Gases, those molecules are a lot more free to move. They're going to take up all the available space. So if you imagine me blowing up a balloon, if I got that balloon a little warmer, the balloon's going to increase in size and the gas molecules are still going to fill it up. So one thing that is really cool that I can do is to actually carbonate some water. So this bottle here, right now, is filled with plain water. I'm going to put it into my soda maker. It takes a second to get it screwed in there. There we go. And it has a canister in the back. I'll take off the back so you can see. It is actually filled with carbon dioxide. When I press the button, it's going to put some of that carbon dioxide into my bottle. It's gonna make a fart sound soon. There we go. So I know I've got enough carbonation in there. So one thing that I can do now with my carbonated water, and you can do this at home with any clear soda, is to actually make some raisins dance. Since the raisins weren't doing, we added in some beans so that you could see it, and the beans are doing really well. You can see oh, there went a raisin! You can see the bubbles gather on the raisins or the beans. That causes them to rise. Once they get to the surface, the bubbles burst and they fall back down again. Another cool experiment that you can do at home is to mix baking soda and vinegar. You've probably actually already done this one, but it's still really cool every time I see it. So I've got some baking soda in my baggie here. I'm going to pour in some vinegar, and all of those bubbles that it's making are a gas. So we actually have 3 states of matter in our bag at the same time. So the last thing I'm going to show you is one of my very favorite things. You might have done it at school. If not, with parent permission, you can try it at home. It is to make oobleck. Oobleck is cornstarch and water. You're going to use 2 parts of water to 3 parts cornstarch. Oobleck is a non-Newtonian fluid, which is a fancy way of saying that it's a liquid that doesn't always behave like a liquid. So I'm going to come around to our camera again so you can see it. I'm going to grab my container I had my water in too. So if you look at it, I can stir it fairly easily, and I can pour it from one container to the next. So with that, it's behaving like a liquid. But if I take some and I squeeze it, it acts more like a solid until I release pressure. So one thing to keep in mind with Oobleck, do not send it down your drain. It will clog your drain and your parents will be really mad. Instead, when you're done playing with your Oobleck, pour it into the trash can or take it outside to just let it sit and dry out. Because all that needs to happen is for the water to evaporate, and you'll have just cornstarch again. So you've got a couple really cool things you can try at home with solids, liquids, and gases. So, this is Erin signing off with Simply Science. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you again for watching with the Lincoln County Public Library. If you enjoyed this episode or would like to see further episodes and have some topics that you would like, please let us know in the comments, and we'll see you again soon.